Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling something that is literally the bane of existence for anyone with an off-grid system, an RV, or a home backup. We're talking about invisible battery killers. You know, those hidden, failing cells that just quietly destroy your whole 48-volt setup from the inside out, even when everything on the surface looks absolutely perfect.
So picture this. You're running your system, totally relying on your power, and then total blackout. Why did your inverter just crash? You look at your battery monitor and it swears you're at nearly full capacity. I mean, the screen says everything should be perfectly fine, right? But the whole system just shut down. It's one of those mysteries that leaves so many of us scratching our heads, and man, it unfortunately leads to people throwing out entire battery banks when they really didn't need to.
If you're dealing with this right now, listen, your frustration is so incredibly valid. You might be seeing this whole crazy cascade of symptoms, stuff like random inverter shutdowns when you're barely pulling a load, or those super annoying, persistent low voltage alarms. Maybe your runtime has just fallen off a cliff, your charging cycles are all over the place, or you might have even noticed that one specific battery in the bank is getting unusually warm. If any of that sounds familiar, those are the classic calling cards of a hidden dead cell, and they are absolutely begging for a deeper look. Now, there's a pretty massive gap in the troubleshooting advice you'll find out there. If you hop online, standard advice usually tells you to grab a multimeter, check the resting voltage of each battery, and just toss whichever one reads low. But actually, scratch that, it's dangerously misleading. Today, we're taking a real systems engineer approach. The truth, resting voltage is only half the story. We really need to look at internal resistance and how the battery holds up under an actual physical load.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for the diagnostic journey today. We're going to cover the resting voltage illusion, understand internal resistance, look at the series bank domino effect, go over some absolutely crucial 48-volt safety warnings, and finally get into diagnosing under real loads. Let's jump in.
Starting off with Section 1, the resting voltage illusion, and exactly why your multimeter is probably lying to you.
This idea right here really hits the nail on the head. A failing battery will often pass a simple voltage test with flying colors. Think about it. Your 48-volt bank charges up. The screen says it's healthy, and it reads near normal when nothing is pulling power. But the literal second you kick on a heavy load, like, say, a microwave or a water pump, the voltage just falls off a cliff. It passes the open circuit test fine, sure, but the battery is completely dead the moment you actually ask it to do some work.
So why does that happen?
Well, let's look at the physics in Section 2, Understanding Internal Resistance, or as I like to call it, the invisible assassin. Every single battery on Earth has some internal resistance. It's kind of like a natural bottleneck inside the battery that restricts the flow of current. And as batteries age and start to degrade, that resistance shoots up. In lead-acid setups, this is usually from sulfation or damaged plates. If you're running lithium, like LiFePO4, it's a spike in cell impedance. So the battery might theoretically hold the right voltage, but physically pushing that current out, that becomes a massive struggle.
The so what of this is explained perfectly by Ohm's law. Voltage drop equals current times internal resistance. Let's break that down into plain English. When current, that's the I, tries to force its way through that high internal resistance, your voltage drops, period. The higher the resistance inside that dying battery, the bigger the voltage sag when you pull power. This is the exact mathematical reason why a battery can look totally fine taking a nap, but completely collapses the second it hits the treadmill.
And it gets wilder when we chain them together. Let's move to Section 3, the series bank domino effect, all about the weak links in your 48-volt chain. Okay, think of a 48-volt series string like water getting pumped through a single long pipe. The voltages add up, sure, but the current is identical through every single battery in that chain. So if just one battery has high internal resistance, it becomes a massive roadblock. What happens next? The healthy batteries are forced to work overtime, shoving current through that weak link. That weak battery suffers a brutal voltage collapse, and it literally drags the total system voltage down with it until, boom, your inverter trips on a low voltage alarm. And the craziest part? 3 out of your 4 batteries might be perfectly fine. All right, before we even think about grabbing tools, we have to stop and talk about Section 4, crucial 48-volt safety warnings. We absolutely have to respect the power of DC.
Listen, 48 volts might not sound super intimidating compared to the outlets in your living room, but direct current is a whole different beast. A 48-volt battery bank can sustain massive, explosive DC arcs if things go sideways. Unlike AC power, DC arcs do not extinguish themselves easily. Plus, if shorted out, the These systems can dump hundreds or even thousands of amps in a fraction of a second. It is absolutely no joke. So you absolutely have to stick to this safety checklist. Number 1, wear eye protection, always. Number 2, take off your rings, watches, and any metal jewelry. A metal ring shorting across battery terminals, that turns into a glowing hot heating element instantly. Number 3, use insulated tools only. Dropping a regular wrench across terminals will give you an explosive arc flash. And finally, never ever measure resistance with your multimeter on a live energized circuit. You do that and you'll inject meter current right into a live system, which will instantly blow your meter's fuses, or worse, cause an arc flash. Okay, safety briefing done. Let's get to the good stuff in Section 5, diagnosing under real loads, so we can finally find this culprit safely. Here is the proper systems engineer way to do this. Step 1, start with your eyes. Look for obvious signs: swelling, discolored terminals, or melted insulation. Step 2, check the resting voltage of each individual battery. If one is low, yeah, that's highly suspicious. But do not stop there. Step 3 is the real test. Apply a known, steady load. Think a resistive heater or a really heavy bank of shop lights. Step 4, while that load is running, watch for rapid voltage sag on each battery. The healthy ones, they'll hold steady, but the dead cell's voltage will tank fast. Boom, you've just caught your invisible killer red-handed. And you know what? There's actually a super clever shortcut for this: thermal inspection. Since power loss to internal resistance turns straight into heat, high resistance literally makes failing parts hot. If you've got a thermal camera, just point it at your battery bank while it's discharging under a heavy load. It's like magic. It makes invisible electrical failures completely visible. You'll instantly see bad internal cell groups glowing warm, or spot loose terminals, corroded lugs, and failing bus bars way before they turn into a serious fire hazard. Now, keep in mind, you really need to know your specific battery chemistry, because the symptoms change. For lead acid, internal resistance usually spikes because of sulfation, stratification, or literal physical damage to the plates. But if you're rocking a lithium setup, like LiFePO4, you're usually looking at cell imbalance, damaged parallel groups, or, very commonly, BMS disconnects. Your lithium battery's management system might suddenly cut the power to protect itself from a low-voltage cell event, and that perfectly mimics a dead battery. So don't automatically assume a sudden shutdown means a totally dead battery. It could just be the BMS stepping in to save the day for an imbalanced cell. The main takeaway here: accurately diagnosing your batteries under load doesn't just solve a frustrating mystery, it saves you literal thousands of dollars because you're not throwing out perfectly healthy batteries. And honestly, way more importantly, understanding internal resistance and catching those hotspots keeps your off-grid system completely safe from terrifying thermal fires. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a quick question to think about. Have you ever found a battery that looked totally fully charged on the monitor, but completely gave out the second you put a load on it? What was the clue that tipped you off? Was it the inverter shutting down, some weird heat, or just abysmal runtime? Keep this load testing method in your back pocket, and you'll never be fooled by the resting voltage illusion again. Thanks so much for hanging out and learning with us. Stay safe out there, and happy troubleshooting.